Hi guys, welcome to Tips Tuesday here at the Three Hammers Golf Complex and Golf Academy. We're back with John Cheetham and myself, Rob Bluck, Golf Academy Director. We're back to continue the theme of putting. It's winter time, yes we know that, but we really feel quite strongly about this, that this really is a time when we're cooped up indoors, that we can really help improve our scoring game for the new 2018 season. So guys, girls, big apologies from last week. I believe there was a few gremlins in the area last week here at HQ, so it was a bit kind of robotic, wasn't we, during the actual Facebook Live. So hopefully today is going to run smoothly. So we're back, John. Lots to cover this week. We're going to have a quick recap of what we discussed last week, and we've got some new content which we would like to go through in this week's live, if that's okay. Yeah, perfect. Cool. Okie dokie. So now, great again. Thanks so much for your questions, for your support. We've had again great feedback over the week. Hence why we keep doing our Facebook Live. We can't wait for the season to start, whether to turn, so we can get back out there on the golf course. We're really keen to get out there, do some bunker lives, do some lob shots, doing the awkward shots around the greens, also take it out to the golf course as well. So, yeah. But today, the all-important flat stick, the scoring game. So last week, John, just a quick recap. We discussed, first and foremost, we discussed the importance of aim. Yeah, and I know already we've had a few messages in saying they found that really interesting about the eye dominance. Yes. So when reading putts, so we use a little drill there for actually finding our dominant eye. Yeah. We spoke about the line on the golf ball. Yeah. So it's only good to use that line on the golf ball when reading putts or when putting, if we can align it correctly. So hopefully the tip that we use with the circle there to actually ascertain which is our dominant eye, that's going to really help. So do you want to recap then what we spoke about last week, John?
Yeah, so today's theme. So obviously, you touched on line, really important, guys. The simple line on the golf ball, dead easy to do. We'd always recommend doing that. The other big one from last week, which we had some good feedback about, was the hold Rob. How he went down the lifeline to the grip. Too many golfers, hold it in the fingers of the grip. What we want to see is when you open the grip up here, so Rob's hand, it's really in his lifeline here, so the shaft is putting up his left forearm, really good checkpoint for you, and that really secures the putter in place to make sure it's a really solid stroke governed by the shoulders and not necessarily the wrists. Exactly, yeah.
Great. I had an interesting direct message to myself actually. Someone used that as an example of what they saw DJ. DJ won a couple of weeks ago. My gosh, was he bashing that driver ridiculous distances, but how well does he putt it?
Yes.
DJ's a prime example there of what we spoke about here with the actual extension of the putter shaft up the actual forearm here, so the actual putter grip itself running through the lifelines. Really a great tip that, and it's one which the putter grip is quite often overlooked by lots of our guys and girls.
Yeah, and it's like I say, it's fundamental. You can do it at home, get it in the lifelines, and it'll really help solidify your putting stroke to make sure the wrists aren't involved, and we get that nice strike on it. So really keen on that from last week. And if you can take one thing away, guys, that basic of the hold, we're going to go through today, Rob, a bit more in terms of the actual stroke itself, some feedback from the Trackman 4 today, which we're going to get involved with, and we're going to share some screen casts from today's data so you can understand exactly what we're going to talk about. But that's going to be a nice theme for today, Rob, just going into the actual stroke itself, moving away from the setup now, which we've sort of done last week.
Yeah, cool. What we also discussed on last week is ball position, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So this is going to really feed in quite nicely to today, because when going for putter fittings now, which we are going to touch on the importance of having a putter fitted, what the technology is really looking at now is exactly how quickly you can get that ball rolling and the direction you're starting that golf ball off on. So we can have the most efficient putting grip, a fantastically textbook setup, however, we can't start it off on line. So again, that's what we're going to really touch upon today. So last week, we spoke about the importance of the golf ball being a fraction further forward of centre in the stance, so the golf ball itself is in line with the left eye. So a tip which we used was when you address the golf ball, just get a golf ball yourself and drop that golf ball from your left eye, assuming that you're a right-handed golfer, of course, and hopefully that golf ball itself will drop directly on top of the object ball. So great little checkpoint which we went through.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a putt set up here of approximately 10 to 11 feet.
Yeah.
We'll find out exactly how far it is in just a second. We've got some alignment pointers set up. Now, one of the questions I know that we've already been asked was, how can I practice my putting at home if I haven't got fancy templates? So a simple one would be to set up a simple workstation, just like we've got here. 2 alignment pointers. If you want to address the golf ball there, John. So John here he's got probably a good 1.5 inches in between the toe of the putter and the heel of the putter to the pointer. So now, just from here, if I just remove the object ball, if you just make a few practice strokes, John. So really here, the putter, as we said last week, is going to arc ever so slightly. However, here, John is pretty much keeping that putter head right in between the actual corridor.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And so really trying to marry the length and speed. I mean, we touched on that in last week's session as well, didn't we? You know, the length and speed of stroke, which is also important.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to put John to the test now. Using Trackman, we're going to apply those the sound fundamentals as you're actually hitting a putt, and we're going to monitor exactly how quickly you can get that golf ball rolling. Because we can read that putt beautifully, we can set up to it beautifully, but let's say, for example, there's a little bit of break in that putt. I think simply, if that ball's not on the ground, if we haven't got that friction there, if it's not on the ground, it's not going to take the break. So how quick can you get the ball rolling?
And that's an area, Rob, as well, with the, for the guys at home there, don't just think when you hit a putt, the ball instantly rolls. If you look at a golf ball in slow motion, when you hit a putt, that golf ball actually leaves the putting surface.
It does, yes.
Sometimes it'll take a while for that friction to take place and get the ball rolling. So the idea of the good putt, guys, is to get the ball rolling as quickly as possible, and that's something that the Trackman 4 can measure in terms of the percentage unit. So we'll get a data read on that, see how quickly the ball's rolling.
Yeah, definitely. I think what we'll try and do, actually, just think along those lines, John, we'll perhaps upload a high-speed video onto our Facebook feed of exactly what a golf ball does when it's been struck by a putter. It's absolutely... It's quite eye-opening, isn't it, when you can really see how much time that golf ball spends in the air. I think all the great putters we touched on, Dustin, who blasts it everywhere, but he gets that ball rolling so quick. Let's give it a go, shall we? Let's give it a go. So we'll set up. So we're going to use the line, actually. So we'll use the line method.
Same routine.
So practice what we preach. I'm going to check that just to make sure that. I think looking good there, Jesse. Just give it a go. So that great putt. Whoa, a little sneak at the end.
Side door.
Yeah, so that ball there had a little. It actually tracked. That was beautiful. Now I don't know if you can catch that on the camera. That line really did roll end over end quite beautifully. So that would tell me, the coach, that you've not only you've aligned your putter square, but you've returned it square. As I said, the actual you spent a lot of time yourself doing a lot of hard work on your putting stroke. And we look at John. Often one of John's strengths of the game is how many putts he holds. Now I could watch John. He's a good mate of mine and a colleague, but I could watch John putt all day because I think he moves that putter quite beautifully. But that's not he wasn't blessed with that touch. Perhaps he was, but
a lot of graft,
a lot of graft there. So on here, that's just telling me that. So the actual golf ball itself has travelled pretty much 14 feet.
Yeah.
There, that putt's there travels 14 feet. Now the actual skid distance of that putt was 27 inches. So 27 inches, that's just over 2 feet, isn't it?
Yeah.
So now that's actually given us a roll percentage there for the putt that you hit. We'll actually upload this information for you so you can have a look later on. That roll percentage there is 84%.
Yeah. So
really, to simplify this, when we're working with our golfers, if we can get a golfer rolling that putt from a similar distance of 80% and more, they're striking those putts pretty well. No, it is staggering. When I was working with a guy just recently, a very, very good player, who was struggling a little bit on the greens, and his roll percentage was down somewhere like mid 60s it was.
Okay. Yeah.
So we adjusted the golf ball position, we adjusted the way he was delivering the golf ball to the actual the putter to the golf ball itself.
Yeah.
And it made the world of difference. We actually looked at different putter lofts as well.
Yeah, of course.
So with that in mind then, how can we actually, we'll do a little face on here, how can we demonstrate the importance of strike from that face on perspective, John?
Well, I think the strike definitely links back to what we mentioned last week, you know, the ball position and the fact we covered it last week, the putter isn't flat, it's got a loft on. Yeah. So let's say, for example, the ball goes too far forward in the stance. So let's say I put the ball too far near the left heel. Just by doing that, the hands then sit behind the golf ball. So as I come into impact, that's really going to encourage that club to overtake my hands, add even more loft to it. When we've got more loft, that ball's going to jump more.
So we're talking around about 4.5 to 5 degrees of loft on a putter?
On a standard putter, exactly, yeah. So we put the ball forward, and the putter comes in like this guy, suddenly that jumps to maybe 8-9 degrees.
Okay, so we class that the dynamic loft, which would be the loft of the putter at impact now, has almost doubled.
Exactly, yeah. On the flip side of that, you know, on the same vein, if it goes too far back in your stance, guys, so let's say the ball is too far back here, my hand's too far forward, then what we've done here is we've taken the loft out of the putter, which, when you're hitting down the golf ball, is also going to make it jump.
Absolutely, yeah.
So the ball position is crucial to get it just forward of centre to try and get you hitting that ball just slightly on the up. You know, so a little drill you could try, Rob, when setting up to the ball. Always start with your feet together, quite a basic one.
Great tip.
But then you can build it around there, so you know that you've got that ball just forward of centre. If we get straight into it, then it's too easy to, you know, just breeze over that ball position, not take care of it.
I think that's it. If we just go into that a little bit more detail. So let's present, John, if you can just aim that golf ball, just to turn yourself around, aim that golf ball towards my centre of my feet.
Yeah.
Now from here, now if you can take your setup position, let's build it carefully here. So feet together. So before we even think about taking the grip or building the stance, we've got to really make sure that putter is aligned to where our intended target, whether it's at the hole or if we're looking for any break. Here, now's the time we want to make sure the eyes are directly over the ball. Now we can take the grip. Okay, so we're building that routine into it. We've aimed the putter, we've gripped the putter. Yeah. Now we can build the stance. He's happy with the hand position. So as we can see here, when John set it up to the golf ball is ever so slightly ahead of John's sternum here. It's in line with the left eye, so when John now goes ahead and strikes the putt, as soon as he's actually making contact, the putter itself is ever so slightly striking on that with that ascending blow.
Yeah.
You know, really helping that roll.
Definitely, yeah.
Please do not, if you just want to demonstrate, John, what we see with a lot of golfers, they try and make this stroke adjustments to get the golf ball rolling quickly. So they're trying to hit up on the golf ball.
Yeah, so we see generally the strokes more, you know,
that direction. Yeah. So when doing this, just look how risky we're becoming here. Yeah. So one of your golfing buddies may say to you, "You're not getting the ball rolling. You've got to hit up on the ball," which is sound advice. Thanks, John. Thanks, Dave. But really, we see this week in, week out. We can see what that's actually doing to you as a player. It's actually really ingraining a fault. Yeah, it's correcting a fault with a fault.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So
back as well. Yeah, if we went back in the stance, saying there, sure. It almost hitting down on the ball, just that follow through, that equidistant back and follow through isn't being continued from last week. It's almost like a jab. Yeah, jabby strokes. That's the on the way back there in the stance.
Brilliant. So please, guys, girls, go through these basic fundamentals. Really are important. Test your roll. Also there, what we've got again, which we will upload the actual data here, we've got this little box here is telling us exactly where John is launching the golf ball in relation to the target. That one there was 0.1 degrees of the putt that you hold there, so no wonder it actually went in. Yeah. So again, that would suggest on a consistent basis there, you're delivering that putter pretty square to target. Now let's say, for example, again, if you were struggling with starting the golf ball online, we've lined it up there and you did roll it end over end. Yeah. But let's say, for example, if you were struggling starting online, what would you do yourself then, John, to help?
If I was struggling to start the ball online to start with?
So what do you do with your plain stroke? What drills would you do?
Well, there's various drills you can do. You know, if you've got access to a practice green at your golf club, you can get the 2 T-pegs in the green, Rob. So 2 T-pegs either side.
We'll do that.
Demonstrate that one. Yeah.
We'll take a setup.
That easy, that one.
So you address the ball. So if I just pop the T-peg just here.
Yeah.
Pop the T-peg just here.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is going to really help with strike, isn't it? It's going to really help get the ball at the centre of the putter face.
And also that will identify to me, you know, you can get pretty close with these T-pegs to the toe and the heel, and if you start hitting a few putts and start hitting the T-peg here, that's feedback for me that maybe I'm just coming across the ball slightly, aiming the ball left. So instant feedback which way my stroke's going wrong, so I can fix that.
Sure.
If I can go straight back and straight through the T-pegs, just straight through the garden gate, back and through there, that's going to be a good effective drill. The sticks are a similar method.
Great.
You know, if you haven't got the sticks, 2 T-pegs, nice and easy, guys.
Or what we could do, if you just take us out of position there, John. John made a real valid point there. We can make this quite easy, or we can make this quite tough by bringing those T-pegs closer. What we could actually do as well is get a few more T-pegs and just pop some T-pegs just back here. So just extending the gateway back here, and also on that through stroke as well, to make sure that John's goal then when making the putting stroke is obviously to avoid making contact with those T-pegs.
Yeah.
Again, sound practice, and again, this is something you can do at home.
Easy, yeah?
Yeah, good. I must stress as well, I know you struggle sometimes with stiff back. Whenever we are practicing putting and we're in this position, please spend some time stretching it out just afterwards.
Just opposite.
Yeah, absolutely. Stand up, reach up,
yeah,
stretching that back out. Don't spend too long in that putting putting posture. And again, what will happen, that good, sound, solid foundations will all of a sudden become quite slouched.
Yeah.
So great tips there to get the ball rolling online. Yeah, monitoring exactly how quickly you're getting the golf ball rolling.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I think one more thing I want to touch on, and it's a really important one, Rob. We're going to just touch briefly before we take some questions, guys. If you've got any questions, comment below. We're going to take them very shortly. Putter length, Rob.
Putter length, brilliant.
Yeah.
Do you know, I'm delighted that you've asked me that question. Okay, so putter length, massively important. Standard putter length now has gone from 35 inches down to 34 for a gent.
Yeah.
But really, it doesn't matter if you're 6'1" or 5. It really, I've got very long arms.
Yep.
I'm 6'1", long arms. Now, what we would do, we actually use our adjustable putter here, which really tells us exactly how the actual correct putter length, or the ideal putter length for us. So, do you want to demonstrate this, John? So, if you perhaps take your setup position here, and I'm going to go. So, as you were saying, this is a drill now you use an awful lot when coaching. So, you're literally. So, do you want to go through that again? So, you just went to the hips there, didn't you? So,
so I just. I like to just tilt forward from the hips to get my eye line in place, and then I can just soften my knees to get comfortable. I think a lot of golfers start with the knees, Rob, just into that.
We're not slouching.
Yeah, so I get shoulders back, I tilt from the waist first, and then I just soften the knees and let my arms hang, and then my putter now will be fit based on where my arms are hanging.
Okay, so I'll measure this right now to 34, so if you just bring the palms together there, John, so this is a 34-inch palm. Perfect.
There we go.
Perfect. Okay. Absolutely. We can just see how much room we've got here. John's got between the grip of the putter on his gilet and also in between the thighs. So if, for example, we've got a golfer who's significantly taller or shorter, then we really would would fit that putter accordingly.
Yeah.
Okay, so putter length massively important. It's all based on the preference of the player and the actual.
And I think as well, just on that, Rob, obviously we teach a lot of ladies down here. I would say one of the biggest things with lady sessions is the putter is too long. So like a 35-inch putter, 34-inch putter, it's too long for the height. So then we see the posture, something like this. You know, the putter, they're accommodating the putter rather than vice versa. So something like that. So we're trying to tell them to get over the golf ball, but they can't because the putter's too long. So ladies at home, check that. A lot of ladies we fitted recently, 32 inches, Robert. It seems to be like a nice number to allow the body to get over it.
Eye line,
that gives it away.
It matches up the eye line, doesn't it? It really matches. So it just really matches up the eye line. So that's one point we failed to mention there. 34 inches, perfect for you when your palms meet, but your eye line is directly over the top of the golf ball.
Exactly, yeah.
Also as well, just on the subject of putter fitting, we spoke about length, but it's also about, like we often get asked the question, do we go for more, we've got two types of putter. We've got what we class as a toe hang, so we balance the putter here, the toe hangs down, or we've got another kind of putter here, which we've got courtesy of Ping Golf. This is a broken fitting putter. This is what we class as a face balance putter here, so as I just find the balance point here, we can see that the putter itself stares looking straight to the sky. So the simple terms there, the toe hang putter would really suit the golfer who tends to arc the stroke a little more. So those golfers who've got a little bit excessive arc in the stroke, we need that toe hang putter there to actually try and help square the putter through the hitting area. Now, whereas more of a face balance putter is aimed at the golfer who moves the putter pretty square, so pretty straight back and straight through. Again, so check that with your resident PGA Pro, your local club. Come down, ask us a question. We'll sure help you out with that one.
Okay. So have we got any questions there, Will?
Yeah, we've got a few questions here. We've got one question that with it being winter time and you obviously wear a lot of layers when you're playing. Is it the struggle putting having all those layers on? How would you recommend that they kind of combat that?
I think with that one, it's a very good question. A lot of that depends on the actual putter fitting as well. Quite often, if the putter's a little bit on the long side, and we've got that kind of loose fitting waterproof jacket on, the actual zip there's catching the putter grip. But again, if the putter was actually the correct length for you, then regardless of having the waterproof clothing on, there should be no catching of the putter grip there. We still should be free. I know when actually playing, we need playability clothing, so kind of stretch fabric's great this time of year. Under base layers, base skins, gilets, which we wear, so we're still we're still very, very free. But I don't know your thoughts on that.
Yeah, it's a great question. I think possibly in the winter, when you are got a lot of layers on you colder, the instinct might be to use the wrist a little more because they're the faster twitch muscles. So maybe really make a conscious effort in winter that the stroke does come from the shoulders. I can see how it's easy in winters to jab it with your wrist because you're cold. You want to maybe get it over quickly and get to the next tee. So maybe just really cement that it's a shoulder dominating the move and make sure you get that body moving despite the layers. Your body will still move. Maybe it needs a bit more of a reassurance and reminder to do that. Yeah, very good question.
Yeah, great question. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, another question we've got is that how should they put differently in the wind?
Okay.
You're a links golfer.
I'm a links golfer. Yeah. So so a lot of experience in the links golf growing up, which is typically windy golf courses. So very simple one for that. I just lower my centre of gravity. So I'm quite tall anyway, but you would see me in links golf double the width of my stance and get really a lot lower over the ball. So Rob,
similar height. That would be my kind of standard putter stance width.
Definitely,
So I would kind of compare my putter stance width to similar to that of like an 8 iron or 9 iron. So if I take my, if we're in the winter time.
Yes, let's get that wider. That's it. So you're going to feel lower down. Might have to feel like Rob maybe goes down the shaft a little bit on that.
My golf ball's still in line with my left eye.
Yeah, definitely.
So from here now, I'm really stable.
Yeah. That's it. So nice and solid. Remember to keep the head nice and still in the wind. And then the other thing I did, I do have one putter now, but back a few years ago I used to have 2 putters that are slightly different weights. And in the wind, I used to take my heavier putter because I found that was more steady in the wind, and I could do a shorter stroke rather than getting it long with a lighter putter, which maybe blow around the wind a little bit. So I used to just go slightly heavier putter for the winter months on the links golf, and then go back to my lighter one in the summer. So yeah, a couple of tips there for that.
Get wider, stay still.
There you go.
Yeah.
Any more there, Will?
Okay, one more question now. Would you change the stroke or the grip for obviously the speed of the green?
Okay.
I got this one.
Go.
Yeah.
This one.
The quicker the greens, generally speaking, we're going to grip it lighter.
Okay.
Yeah. Would you go with that?
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Generally speaking, the quicker the greens, the lighter we're going to grip that putter. I think when we grip it tighter there, all the muscles there are tense. It's very difficult there to really judge distance. So nice and light, almost as if you're feeling someone actually pull that putter grip out of your hands there. So the lighter we grip it there, we've got more of an ability there to make the shorter, slower, required putting stroke.
Definitely,
yeah. What would you go with that?
I agree.
And please don't press it down too hard as well. And lightly touching that putter on the green.
There. Yeah. Fantastic.
Great.
Okay.
So So thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. We love doing this. Please let us know what the content you want coming up in the future.
Yeah.
Hopefully we're going to go and head outside really soon. Have a great week. Happy practicing. Share your videos. Get your questions into us.
Yeah.
We've got a busy week here on site here at Three Hammers. So yeah, be sure to catch you next Tuesday.
Cheers, guys.